Kind of looking at the kind of approach that maybe Hokori wants to take here. Like, they would like Vitaly's hero most likely to already be secured. They've usually always picked Vitaly's and Analog's heroes in the second phase. So most likely a double core pick might be incoming. And then they leave open is Marcy the carry or the offlane, depending what they want to finish off the draft with and what Vitaly might pick. Because Vitaly, if he goes for something like Furion, and they have Marcy in the draft, they can swap either into whatever direction they want, and they might just last pick a support for themselves. And then Lumiere is just going to be playing a first phase Marcy, for example, which might get unchecked.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You mentioned the Nature's Prophet. I wouldn't mind him at all. Any kind of units against the Bane isn't something that he necessarily likes dealing with. So I'd be fine with that. Core Shaker? Core Mirana? It might be a Moon Mirana. He tends to play it from time to time.
That's a mid one Mirana.
A mid one Mirana?
Mid one Mirana for offlane. He's played one game and he's won one game with it. That was against TNC. It could be Afu. It could be Moon. But I think it's mid one.
If he's the one that played it, and laning with the Shaker actually does make a lot of sense. You get level 3. If you are not forced out to get a leap, you can just arrow double Starstorm. But either way, you just wait for a level 4, and the damage output is just insane. So I'm okay with it.
This is exactly the flexibility I was waiting for Hokori. So usually picking Vitaly's and Analog's hero, these could be them. But then you have to flex with the Marcy, which could still go 1, 3, 4. And then Lycan could go 1 or 3.
I think Lycan is going to be 3. I think Lycan, you send him to the 3 position just because he's up against the Bane. Now I have no idea. So I'm going to say mid lane Mirana.
I'd really like to see a 3 Lycan without carry Marcy. And just, I was already laughing about the fact how Ursa looks funny when he's, yapping and, barking. Not barking. Barking when he pops the wolf form overpower. Marcy but unleash in a wolf form. Those extra crits that you can squeeze in between. Could be very nice to have. So if they go for Lycan 3, the laning matchup is still open against SMG. Night Stalker might go against Marcy, but it might also go against Lycan.
I'm not so sure about this Night Stalker pick. Hokori, they like to play 5-man Dota, concentrated around an area. And Lycan, Lesh, Marcy, Undying, they want to be together early on, pushing towers. Night Stalker likes to isolate targets. Sure, it's nice to use your ulti and the enemy start panicking. They start running in different directions and you can catch them. But if you look at SMG's lineup, before the Blink Dagger and the Shaker, they don't have any team fight. They kind of rely on isolating a target, fissure, arrow, and the hero dies. If everyone Hokori is together, it's going to be tough. And this Night Stalker, it doesn't help you in that regard at all. And also their split push capabilities aren't that great to actually capitalize on the ability of theirs to pick people off. So I'm kind of afraid for SMG right off the bat here.
They do have the last pick in the draft, but does it really give them any advantage here?
10 seconds to pick.
Given that the Monkey King is banned out, I would see that one as a perfect one to kind of bully the Lycan and have some ability to fight in the early mid game. I don't know if there's anything else. I guess if you're Hokori, you could ban out the Slark as well, just because the hero is too powerful. But you have Lesh. I'm not sure if you're that afraid of the hero. I think you just protect the Lycan in the lane. If there's anything that you feel like he struggles against, you get it over with.
Depends what they want to pick. If they leave the Slark open, I don't think Hokori necessarily wants to pick Pudge, for example, here, which has also been a favorite for both Analog and for Lumiere. Makes it up even more.
Hokori could pick the Slark themselves if they don't want to put the Marcy in the carry role. Slark isn't that bad at all.
If they put Marcy support, I'd like to see an Agi carry for them.
10 seconds.
Just because of the sidekick buffer, helps you take down towers faster. Gets that extra lifesteal. You have a lot of attack speed in general, so you get a big right-click buffer. They did ban the Naga and the TA for a reason.
Dire team pick.
Oh, there's the Agi carry. So they go for Luna. Luna, Marcy. Get that nice combo. And Undying Luna is a very good lane for Hokori.
Points away. Choose your hero.
There's no counter to Pango. There's no lockdown for Pango. There's only one stun. There's only less stun. That's also a bit unreliable. Marcy is somewhere between reliable and unreliable with his stun. And then you have Lucent Beam for the mini stun. But nothing pierces the Pango here. Is this a good Pango pick? I feel like it is because he's not getting countered.
It is a really good Pango pick because you need something that is going to be able to fight early on and thus protect the towers. The problem I see is if there's no Night Stalker ulti, that's a bit of a longer cooldown, and Hokori come to a tower, they're not going to be afraid of the Pango ulti. They have enough sustain with the sidekick, as you mentioned, with the Undying heals. Lycan, he is pretty good with regen himself, to just wait it out and go back to the tower. So I'm kind of afraid for SMG if the game is going to be the same as last time. Hokori go in, they force out the ulti of the Night Stalker, they force out the Rolling Thunder, they just wait it out, they come back, they take the tower skills, whatever they want, and while this is happening, Lumiere is farming. Then at some point, Lumiere joins his team and they just stomp SMG. I can see SMG winning this one, but Moon just has to have a perfect performance, and when he's using the Rolling Thunder, it has to be on the aggressive with the help of his heroes. You get a kill there, you force Hokori to disperse, and then you catch them. So I'm liking that it is the type of lineup that SMG like to play. Go around the mid lane, force the enemies to fight, get a kill or two, disperse the map. So in that regard, it might be a bit easier for them than in the last game, but I still think I'm going to be leaning Hokori a bit here. Not as much as in the previous game, though.
I feel like sliding into Hokori's favor in this game. Even if the laning stage would go somewhat similar to game 1, where Moon would get a lot of backup from his supports, he has world-class supports to help him play. You've got Pulse and Bane. Yep. You have Afu on the Shaker. Like, these are really, really good heroes for both of these players. And I can see Moon come out of the laning stage with shining colors. But the impact that follows from that is very crucial. Can they take the map away from the Luna? Can they smoke gank the Radiant Triangle? And then, how much impact does it have in the rest of Hokori's core, basically? Is the Lycan gonna go for what kind of itemization build? Is Vitaly gonna provide with all the auras for the team? Does he go for Aghanims? How fast in the game? And then, of course, Analog, the pacemaker, basically, for Hokori on the Sledge track. So there are things that can go well for SMG, but they have like this key sequence that they need to hit. They have like a plan that has to click for the first 15 minutes.
That's true. I totally agree. And also, the main issue is even if it clicks, you're, let's say, killing the Lesh on the other part of the map, the Lycan is taking your tower. So I'm not sure. SMG need to be very fast on getting those kills with the Mirana. And mid one, his movements around the map are going to be very, very important. Playing with the Bane, playing with the Shaker, maybe even playing with the Pango or Night Stalker. Every single one of these heroes can somewhat secure the arrow to connect. And mid one needs to be on point.
I love it how SMG is stacking up with several heroes into mid, as Lycan was using a wolf to scout out for the ward in mid. But there's a lot of heroes showing up in mid, so they don't want to give any information about the ward.
1 minute until 30 seconds after
That does mean that there might be a ward somewhere. But it could also be a gamble and a bluff that there is no ward. How can you know if you don't know what the enemy knows, when they don't know if you know, if they don't know that they don't know?
I'm gonna save all yours right now. You still do have the Night Stalker, you know, so that is something that Hokori might be thinking. SMG just want to use the extra night vision.
Let this meditative reflection
Let's
on
get
the
these
fleeting and
bounties
fragile
underway.
ways of life begin.
Hokori to grab 3. SMG snatching 1 for Paulison. The Oliker was also able to take 1 away from MKS with the carry Night Stalker, which can be a very fun hero to play. It can also be a very fun hero to watch from time to time.
Usually the build is the armlet into a shard. I'm curious to see if he's gonna go for that one. Considering he doesn't have big farmers on his side, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I like the shard idea for sure. Kind of have to have it. That extra sustainability, zap in, zap out. Because the Night Stalker is usually always reliant on aggression. Like, if the Night Stalker is going in, that's his biggest threat. For Hokori, they either respond aggression with aggression, or they end up running away, which gives Night Stalker free reign.
The question is, does Vitaly even go for the Helm of the Overlord, considering he's playing against the Night Stalker? I think you're fine with just the Helm of the Dom, and then you go into a maybe a Wraith Pact if you want to go that route. I wouldn't mind it at all.
Afu just walked into Snipe Gardick's Courier right under the eyes of Luna. Very interesting move there. He does have the boots. He's got 360 movement speed, so that does help him out. And Lumiere's already at 8 CS, while mid one is still struggling to get the wave under his favor. But they're just denying a big portion of these creeps away. They're almost denying almost everything. Even if they don't get straight up denies, at least they prevent mid one from getting last hits. And this is slowing up the Mirana's farm by quite a lot.
Yeah, Lumiere is probably gonna get a second point in Lunar Blessing, and the whole idea is just not to allow mid one to farm. Mirana is naturally a very bad hero at last hitting. That's why she's not played as a core that much. It's just almost impossible to get that much farm. So I'm liking that, you know, Lumiere and Gardic, they know they can't get kills, but they definitely know that they can get so much in terms of last hits.
Aggressive positioning for himself here. Gardic does have a level 2 open here for a possible tombstone, but it goes for Soul Rip instead, and Lumiere is gonna look to chase down the Shaker, or chase him away at least. Meanwhile, at the mid matchup, farm is even, 13-13.
A very nice approach there from Lumiere. He knew he needed a hit into a Lucent Beam into a hit to get a kill on Afu. And the second he saw that he was not going to get that first right click until the Shaker goes into the high ground, he decided to go back. So very nice read of the situation coming up from Hokori.
Not for you.
At least a big difference in the early minutes is neither offlane, neither side lane is actually getting an advantage. Last game, the safe lane for SMG was basically Paulson making a lot of moves with the concoction on the Alchemist to buy MKS's Faces Void some farm, and then the whole thing would basically shift on top of its head, and Hokori would start to gain advantage.
We're probably gonna have a very slow laning stage. You don't really see a lot of places for kills to happen. Maybe on the bottom lane if Undying wants to be aggressive and try for kills, and then maybe either they get a kill or he himself dies. But I don't think that's gonna be happening. Mid lane?
Potentially. It's actually a pretty early rotation from Theodoliker onto Moon, and he's got Swashbuckle ready in a second, but he's not going to get it. Oh, Analog actually gets to squeeze a couple of right-clicks in. And that almost takes down the Pango. But he will miss out on Water Runes. Even the Bane has to walk in to try and do some salvation action, and because this happens, I was thinking Moon might just walk all the way back home, but he's staying in XP range to get something. Okay, he's going to leave the lane for Paulson to get, and he's going all the way back home. They can leave MKS
to be there. He wanted to be there until the creeps get out of the tower. As soon as they do, then he's not going to be losing that much. Pango is a pretty mobile hero himself.
Yep. It's important to have at least somebody occupying the mid lane. Never have it open, especially against the Lesh. Like, he's not really going to push your tower down. Like, you can see his skill build is also 202. But you are missing out on valuable XP, maybe even a couple last hits. All the money in the world. Makes a big difference. And I just actually saw that a raindrop did pop on the Pango, so Moon is going to build up a bit of sustainability against the Lesh, but Lesh also has some raindrops against the shield crash. So now look at bottom. 3 heroes heading towards Hokori. Gardic low. Lumiere has to be cautious of this.
This might be our first blood.
The fissure onto Luna. Our arrow does connect, but the Nightmare is going to keep Gardic away. Gardic somehow able to purge it off as the Starstorm pops onto him, but Lumiere down. SMG finding first blood. And it goes for Afu. He's 150 gold now short of his mana boots.
Well, SMG showing that they're not a team that only plays around the mid lane.
And
you know, this time around. Oh, yeah, they got him. They caught Moon in the mid. He's fine.
Yeah, they do, but he's fine. Analog, he's got sidekick, he's got bottle charges.
Lumiere?
Oh, wait. He's actually gonna look to fight them back. There's no creeps under the tower, really. Okay, Afu able to get the aggro off as they lose vision of him momentarily. Analog on the chase. There's the Lucent Beam. Lightning Storm to slow him down. Lumiere for the kill. That is a kill for the Luna, which is very much welcomed for Hokori. That's their first of the game.
This time, you know, Hokori, they knew that SMG likes to play around the mid lane, so they were the ones going there first with Yolikor, but SMG immediately switched it up and go towards the bottom lane. A little bit over-aggressive there, but forcing out the less rotation and losing the Earthshaker without, you know, any tower damage being done in the mid lane or something. It's not that bad for SMG either way.
CS is still very even. Lycan has a lot of denies against this Night Stalker, but I believe most of them are wolves. Those are pretty easy to deny in the end. They don't have a lot of HP. Well, 425, I'll take my words back. But they have 0 armor, because wolves need no armor.
For sure. But look at this, the 3 cores of Hokori, they're looking really strong, and SMG, they need to start making those pickoffs happen, because if they don't, it's gonna be trouble when the time comes for Hokori to start pushing. This is their time now, though.
Yeah, got the stun on MKS, and Yolikor is making his way here. There's the jump in stun, sidekick given, tossing him away, and MKS down, but they also killed Lumiere. They're gonna look for another one. They got the Undying under the rolling thunder of Moon for a double kill for the Pango. Just as you said that they were hoping that SMG would start to slow them down. They do get themselves a couple kills, but it does not change the fact that Hokori are holding a triple net worth lead on all of their cores.
They are, but the Luna has no points in Moonglaze, and he can't go to any lanes. The Luna is a hero that dies very easily, so right now he needs to go with his team, help the push, and be around the place of the map where you have perfect vision. And this should give some openings to SMG to smoke towards the top lane or fight somewhere knowing that the Luna is not going to be a factor.
Yeah. Got to start to put points in glaives for sure. Like Lumiere needs to start ramping up on the farm. Like he's been given some space now as that top tower falls for him to be. And this is where I'm highlighting the fact that they need to keep these camps either contested or this area contested. And there's already some Pango illusions. They're gonna expire 4 seconds before the camps will stack. So he's not actually gonna get to block this hard camp with these illusions. Just down by a couple seconds.
A bit of an unfortunate scenario for him, but what you gonna do? I'm liking Hokori, who are trying to force things to happen on the top lane. On the top lane, even if you lose a fight, it's not gonna be that big of a deal, and SMG are gonna have to use the smoke to get out of that.
Ooh, nice move from Moon here, and they're gonna get on top of Lesh, but there's a small gaping hole between the fissure, allowing them to move around. They will take down Analog, and now onto Gardic. Afu will get killed off by Gardic. Gardic will finally drop. He does get a decay out of the Paulus to just stretch a little
wolf
longer.
is coming.
But now they're targeting the Bane. Here's the shapeshift for the first time by Vitaly. Into a kill. Mid one was looking to arrow the Centaur. The Centaur continues to roll and now giving a bit of a chase onto Moon. Vitaly should not be able to kill him. There's Afu also TPing in with the Shaker. And they did get the bottle refill. That was a nice interrupting little Centaur stun, because if it did get that on time, they wouldn't have been able to trade items.
Probably. Either way, though, I like how SMG is playing. They made sure that the Luna cannot farm that fast, and now they're applying pressure. That's why the gold lead will go their way until Luna gains some levels, and that is very big for SMG, because if it would stay even or Hokori being slightly ahead, at some point they would get together and SMG wouldn't be able to fight at all. This way they might create enough space for Afu to get his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, Luna is the lowest level core in the game currently, sitting at level 6. Does have Mask of Madness, so at least that will help a little bit, but Luna will drag behind a little bit, as you just mentioned. Only 1 point in glaives. This is the time where SMG can start to build a bit of an economy for themselves without having to fear contesting Luna for the time being, and instead focus on their on the others. Now looking for Theoliker. The Fissure stun does come out. Arrow doesn't quite connect, and allowing him to jump away is Vitaly. Getting himself a rebound buff as well, which is nice to have. Gardic is contesting MKS, but not much that this Undying can really do, except just soak a bit of XP away.
I just don't like a right-click Mirana. I'm not a fan of it. Without the BKB, you can't fight, and even with it, it's debatable. You're just gonna get ripped apart by the wolf. Something like an axe, I would have liked much more because it would allow mid one to push out the waves for quite far away. So I'm not sure about this one. I very rarely see this work. It's only if you're crushing the game completely.
Yeah, it is a bit one-dimensional, isn't it? Like, there I can see a right-click Mirana have some good moments, like the moment you leap into you already arrowing one guy, maybe you have another stun, you like feed scripts, locking down somebody, and you get a lot of attacks in, high right-click damage, a lot of attack speed, maybe a couple Maelstrom lightning procs into the mix, which are the good moments. But then if you have a team fight where you can't control the enemy, you will spend the majority of your time basically just repositioning, and maybe getting a couple squeezing attacks in. Afu TP away, will be able to in the eyes of the Centaur, as they did dive the Marcy under the tower.
From the night.
Afu out.
Very nice
with a kill.
plays. Very nice plays by SMG. Also, you know, worth noting is that Leap was buffed in terms of right click. Now it's 4 seconds. It used to be 2.5, so that's a big buff in terms of Mirana's damage. I'm just not sure if you can stand your ground and fight. I guess there's not a lot of lockdown on Hokori, but when the time comes, you might just leap in and not even notice that you're being ripped apart by the Luna, Lycan, or whoever is near you.
It is possible. And they don't actually have any extra units in their team to soak up Eclipse from Luna. So if you had anybody with a Dummy or somebody with Illusion or something, that might help you out. They're going to use Fiend Script onto the Marcy. Marcy is looking to go down. Moon's doing a lot of damage and will finish it off. And the Centaur stun does not hit on Paulison. Paulison again with his positioning, able to dodge the stuns.
This is going to be a good fight for SMG.
That's a really good one, yeah, indeed, because they've got Lesh into an Echo Slam and off. Boo with the damage. MKS is there, and he will score his first kill off the game. And on to Gardic they go. And look at how he melts in the eyes of these two heroes. Great start from SMG.
Hokori are not being allowed to get to that point where they're gonna get together and be ready to fight. And SMG, they're just controlling everything. Vitaly is dead as well.
It's getting slowed. There's no damage coming in anymore. And they're going to turn it around. The Oliker with his Unleash, but Luna's going to take it away so they could get Marcy closer to the enemy. However, it's not going to happen. So this is a bit of a spent ulti from the Marcy to no avail. Afu turning in for the stun. Arrow not quite on target. Mid one having a bit of difficulties landing the arrow in an optimal time. But these are also very quick reaction moments, so you just need to grab and seize the moment.
Hokori are now aware that there was a ward behind the tower in the mid lane. This is just SMG's specialty. If we don't crush you around the mid lane in the first 5 minutes, we'll do it in the next 10. It's no problem. Lash eats an arrow.
Oh, that's rough. He does live, but the Undying, meanwhile, is dying in the river. It does get a bit of healing out. Shapeshift will be used. Moon does have Rolling Thunder, and he will get a couple hits from Vitaly, but he can't take him down. So he's looking for another target, but there's nobody to go to. At least he can go for a bit of a push with the Shapeshift.
Everything is working out for SMG right now. As soon as you get the Helm of the Overlord...
You see Paulison has 5 seconds for Fiend Script. Vitaly needs to be careful here. He's going to commit to this. He wants to kill onto the Bane, but he's trying to keep distance as well, and his mana has been burnt, and he's lost his ulti now. It has ran its course. There's a Satyr who is going to be sacked on the other side of the fissure. Extra money for Moon, and Afu also wants to squeeze in between. He's 100 gold short from Blink.
They want to fight because there's no Rolling Thunder.
When mid one sees them with the ward, Analog has been found. Now trying to go for the chase, but they don't quite have it. The Olik are not going to get there in time because of the leap. Mirana is hard to catch.
SMG are gonna set up a fight right now. Afu got a shard, and the shard was picked up by MKS as well. This is gonna be very, very tough for Hokori to fight into.
Another kill for SMG.
The earth splinters at my touch.
Oh, actually, MKS decides not to go for the shard just yet. Okay, that's gonna give some time where this ancient creep is actually worthwhile for the Lycan, but it's not gonna be for long.
See what they can do with this Marcy here. He missed the Arrow Nightmare combo, so he's gonna run out for now. Swashbuckle almost kills him, but there's the right clicks from mid one.
Make a fine crater.
A lot of spray of arrows. Much better from SMG. This game is so much better for them.
Yeah, they're actually understanding exactly what they need to do, and they're getting the lead necessary to once the Luna is ready to fight, that they'll be able to fight themselves, survive through the BKB of the Luna, and then re-engage and win the fight. And I think with this kind of a lead, they should be feeling comfortable about that right now.
Luna has been farming all this time, though. She is a BKB recipe ready. She's gone from 6th place to 1st place in terms of XP. She's the highest level hero, sharing it with a couple others on the side of SMG. And
They see
this
mid one.
last smoke didn't work out. Maybe this one, mid one. Sees an ancient ice shaman, and the stun connects, and there's the slow. One more leap to get out, and again, they just can't catch this Mirana. It's a near impossibility.
They'll need a blink on the Lesh. That is just the case. Analog will have to go for that item once again. I don't know against the Shaker and the Night Stalker if it's a smart idea, but if you want to get these pickoffs that they're desperately trying to get, you will need that.
Will be important to have. At least he has the Bloodstone already, which is the core item. Luna getting closer and closer. Should have her BKB as she finishes farming these camps. But mid one has connected an arrow onto Gardic, and good night. And a courier as well.
I think the main plan for Hokori, just to be super strong as a 5-man, is starting to crumble. So that's why they're going to be changing up their items a bit.
Tali. Nightmare. He'll miss the swashbuckle, so a bit of a mishap there, but the P-script is going to be there, and they cannot interrupt it in no way whatsoever. But there's the turn. Vitali, Eclipse coming out from Lumiere, surviving the combo off. Paulison down. Very important for Hokori to live, but can they get Moon as well? Lincoln 1 on the other side. He's got it now, but the Lucent Beam comes out just as he got it off cooldown, and Moon has nowhere to go anymore. Or will he be able to escape? I don't think he will. Double for Lumiere. Mid one charges in for a quick kill, and they have lost mid one as well.
Straight into Roche.
Into Roche.
Oh, that is the Luna with the BKB. And the thing is, on the aggressive, Hokori couldn't do anything, but SMG didn't know that the BKB came out. It came out just a second ago. He gets the BKB off mid-fight when he was half HP, and they cleaned him out. Now with this Roche, all of the lead that SMG have accumulated is gone.
They might still try something here. Shaker is ready for the fissure stun, but they don't have Bane. Oh, he actually walks in. He's in the pit. Oh, Afu. That's his name as an actual reaction to the moment. Ah.
Yeah, we're not gonna end that one, are we?
We're not gonna end that one. We don't need to. But that is probably him feeling a bit sour after that. Theoliker doesn't get out of the Roche pit. Moon will kill him with a Rolling Thunder. Lumiere to retreat to the high ground, but they still have 4 heroes in very tight quarters, but they're low on mana. Moon.
Now you don't have it for the fight.
Follow up coming in. He's got roll up, but the stun connects onto the Bane. Bane's gonna go down. Paulison down right away. They're gonna be chasing onto Moon as well. Moon trying to get away onto the high ground. He needs a little bit more, but he's not gonna be able to run out as Lumiere is gonna be closing the gap in an Analog to secure the kill. That's gonna mean a tower falling down, and MKS can't do anything about it.
He can eat the creep.
He can eat the creep. Yeah, he's got the shard. He can eat the creep. Bit of poke onto the Luna. A lot of damage coming in. But the security is there by Analog, and he gets a salve from his buddy, Gardic, with the, you know, the Gravekeeper, the zombie with the shovel. I mean, did he kill the guy in the graveyard who's usually attending to the tombs? Like him, though. Shapeshift is up. There's a big golem coming in. MKS would love to eat that. Can only do that in nighttime, though. He's going to turn his attention to it, and is he dead? He's dead. MKS is gone. Baited in by the golem. Afu's going to get hit by the Lucent Beam as well. Moon on the side, and they're going to take another one. The Shaker is going to fall as well. This game is coming apart. You said if SMG gave away their lead, well, it looks like Hokori is the ones who actually bypassed them now.
Yeah, they bypassed them. This is just This is looking so bad because if you just held on to that lead, waited for your timings as well, and then went, it would have been great. Or if maybe you got into that fight just a minute faster before Lumiere got the BKB, we would have been seeing a bit of a different game. But SMG just in the worst possible timing when the courier is delivering the BKB to the Luna, go for the fight, they lose. And now they're looking relatively helpless. Lumiere with an Aegis is unkillable, and he has a Hurricane Pike as well, so his positioning, it's not going to be that hard to maintain.
In the sole lead as well. We haven't really seen mid one's Mirana have much of an impact now. And Moon is doing a lot of heavy lifting, trying to do as much as he possibly can. Hokori are going to be diving in. Here we go with the Dark Ascension and the Pot multi coming in. They're going to be getting Lycan and Luna both being stunned up, but that's Rolling Thunder only doing a decent amount of work here. Lumiere still going to get a couple of right clicks out as well. He's going to be controlled. He's disarmed as well. He will not get to use his BKB, but he will have it with life number 2. Analog's going to be taking a little damage from MKS as well. They're going to be taking down Vitaly. They've lost the Life Stealer. Sorry, I mean the Lycan, and now they lose the Undying as well. And again, just stun locked Analog, but now onto the Mirana mid one. He's got no leap charges. He's going to go down, right clicked away. One more charge, and Lumiere is going to be finishing him off with the Lucent beam. And now onto Moon, but they won't get that far. Disarm comes in again. Afu stun locking him on the spot. BKB, force snap in. Gonna take down MKS right away. Instantly disappearing off of the face of the earth. Moon trying to get some work done here. Another disarm onto the Luna. Afu coming in with the stun. The Oliver trying to get in between the stun on 2. The sidekick, is he going to live? Lumiere? No, the Echo Snap's going to take away his dreams and his life. But they will get Paulison for it. The Oliver's timing could not have been better, but it does not save him. Analog with the triple as he lands yet again another stun to finish off Afu. And that's a 4-for-4 trade. Look at the damage done difference.
Yeah, the damage difference is just insane. You know, I was kind of curious why Lumiere wasn't using the BKB before the Aegis. I think he could have done it, but SMG, they did everything right. They didn't commit on him, so he didn't want to do it. And while they were just poking him down, they were killing his teammates. A big problem in that fight is that the Olikor died. He's the steroid for this Luna, and we saw just how much he starts to heal. In the end, the Echo finishes him off. If he didn't die from that Echo Slam there, he probably heals enough just to survive, and it's a disaster for SMG. This way, it's actually pretty solid for them.
For a moment's pause to grab a quick breather on the side of SMG. I think they needed it as well, because ever since losing the pre-Roshan fight, things have been turning upside down for SMG, and probably feeling a bit nauseous after that.
Right now, SMG, though, they have something going for them, and it is this Afu Shaker, who is creating so many issues for Hokori because they don't have a jump in the backline. This is something that you have to deal with. We have been looking at it for the entirety of the day when Shakers are unattended, and they're just doing way too much. Now, when he has the blink, you make a misstep and you even die to the Echo. So, Afu, for now, very good with his positioning.
A little something extra.
Paulison holding a position on the high ground. Mirana is working towards the Mjolnir, which is very much needed to combine with the leap for that big burst of damage. But that timing has slowed down by a lot. He's had to build a Manta in between, has no BKB. That BKB is probably going to be on mid one's shop list after this one, and it feels like they are going to stack up for a smoke.
He has more creeps than the Luna on mid one.
He's been farming like mad. Yep. So that's a lot of last hits. He is second in net worth thanks to it as well. Alpha with the stun on 2. Marcy and Luna, and they've got the Luna arrow feed script coming in. Nightmare on the Marcy, but it breaks because of the Star Storm, but it does not matter. Mid one to chase down the Marcy, and this is what SMG really needed. They needed a bit of relief, but at the same time, bottom lane, MKS is being targeted. Undying and Leshrac, can they do it? Just the two of them. Stun connects. Here's the follow-up. Tombstone is there, trying to make a run for it with the Dark Ascension, but the Diabolic Edict melts the bat. A Night Stalker just falls flat, but can they respond? Arrow from mid one could do it with the Fissure. They're connecting. The Shard is making them make all these plays happen. Analog on the run. Mid one with the chase. Gardic to tank this one for him to lose his life. And now Lesh should be able to get out.
The execution for SMG has been really good in this game, especially Afu. He's the one setting everything up, and he's the one not dying. There in the top lane, he just saw them for a second on vision and just went in with a double fissure. So beautifully done by him. He's the one making all of these plays, though. Hokori, their execution is really good as well. Killing that Night Stalker, it was not easy by any means, but they still managed to do it.
Moon will be spotted. Roll up will dodge the stun. Moon running away from the Unleash. He's down to half HP. There's a Dragon also poking, but the rest of them are arriving. Paulison, he will have the Nightmare, but it will only last for a moment. Brainset kicks in as well. Marcy jumping around, won't get the stun to connect. The arrow will miss on the hero, but it will not miss the Ancient Black Dragon. And MKS is here to yeet and yoink. We'll eat that Dragon.
That's a good meal for him.
That's
something that we will never know. There are no dragons in the world, but you know, one can only hope to see a dragon, not eat one, just to make things clear.
I don't know. I mean, we can't know. You just basically answered your own question there. How can we know if we don't know? Well, SMG is fighting tooth and claw. And I love to see it. You know, this is not a one-sided game like game number 1 from Hokori or in the previous series where we just saw Execration get ran over in game number 2. This is a real battle between two, and it does give a lot of faith and hope, especially with this this Marana. That can still have a lot of impact this game. They're ready, working on BKB.
Even though SMG gave away their lead, they still kind of stopped that biggest timing of Hokori. Imagine if Hokori were already in the lead, they took the Roche, and then their pushes, how strong they would have been at that point.
They could be working their way towards tier 3s, and you know, maybe even taking down a tier 3 tower, maybe work on the racks. So that has been averted. That has bought them some time. Arrow's cooldown on 13 seconds, and here we go. Double stuns coming out, Undying being controlled. He does get a bit of movement speed from Theoliker, but again, targeting the supports. They're almost losing one. They're almost losing a second. Moon can't get the Marcy down unless he commits everything for it, and he does. But that doesn't let Hokori respond to it. Arrow does scout out Vitali. They found an analog as well, and less track in trouble. BKB will be popped. The buybacks coming in from both supports right away. Moon is on the run. Now with the roll, trying to get away as well. And MKS coming in to turn around, but they will lose now Moon. Now Lumiere fighting against the Night Stalker, trying to make a run for it as well. Paulison in the river. They're going to be fighting as well to the Bane, and look for that stun, but Afu with the echoes down to 4, huge damage. Afu will do a lot of trouble to Hokori. The Feast grip as well as the Marcy. There's going to be a dieback. Vitali is fighting in the river all by himself, as they're going to be running away from them. And at the same time, Afu still keeping up the chase. He wants to find more. Doesn't quite get the stun into Gardic, but he will zone him out for a time being. And Luna also on the run away, and they are trying to bait the Earthshaker kill, but the rest of them are coming. He might lose his life, but mid one is here to clean house. It will take down Gardic, and now the Lumiere. Paulison just needs a bit of vision at a distance. Oh, and he just Hurricane Pikes to safety, so it does not get the connection with the Nightmare. And Roche is up.
Afu, man, he is literally single-handedly winning this game. He is just in such a good position every single time, and this time around he has waited long enough. That echo coming out, it completely destroyed Hokori. That was their time to turn the fight around. They used everything. They used the buybacks. They started running in, and he stops them in their tracks perfectly with his ulti, and it is gonna open up the Roche.
Paulison will find Lumiere as well. He's got the Nightmare arrow. Oh, it hits the camp. It hits the camp in between, so he will not get the arrow stun to follow. He would have otherwise just walked in for those right clicks. And Analog wants to get in time for the Roche. The Roche is going to be going down. They're going to be losing the Bane, and they're on the retreat. Vitali with a shapeshift. Can he find something here? MKS gets a big heal out of the camp. He was about to die to Roche, and you only get Paulison for it, so SMG gets to retreat unscathed.
That was just a second away from disaster for SMG. If Hokori got there like a second or two earlier, it would have been really bad.
Just like it was a second too late for SMG when they initiated on Hokori before the first Roche this game. So I guess that has been repaid and returned.
Yeah, so now we're on equal footing, and that's why it's 4K gold lead, pretty much the lead that SMG had when they went for that play that you just talked about. Though this time there is a difference. They're the ones with an Aegis, and mid one will get his BKB fairly soon. So this Mirana, it's gonna be much easier for mid one to dish out the damage, and he is still topping the network chart.
Luna gets to buy the tome for herself. And we are going to be seeing the Eclipse come out as well. Very needed extra nuke for these team fights. That Eclipse is going to be a massive issue for SMG if they end up clustering. But you also need to get it out. So that does mean that they need control on the Bane. They need to keep the Shaker busy. Afu, so good this game. He has been part of 20 out of the 30 kills for SMG. And every time he's in the fight, it looks like it's a winnable fight for SMG.
Yep, and you don't really have good heroes to catch him. That is the problem. Marcy will only get a 4-step. The Hokori is not having a good game. If he had like a BKB, just running onto the Earthshaker would be so good for Hokori, but he sees that he can't get it early, and that's why he's just focusing on getting the 4-step for the past, I'd say, 15 minutes.
Okay, I give them
Gardic has had to play the sacrificial lamb this game on the side of Hokori. 12 deaths on the Undying, but every time he gets his tombstone off, he's already kind of done his job. He would love to extend his life just a little bit longer. He's a very soft target, 1300 HP, 5 armor, against all the physical damage of MKS and mid one. Undying will need some extra tankiness on their side. They've put themselves a observer called Sentry Ward. There's a Tinker Ward on top of the cliff, and a Sentry Ward called Sentry Ward on the lower ground. So, not debating us this time with an ace.
The problem for Hokori right now when it comes to split pushing is that the catch of SMG is just so much better. So if you're under the vision of the enemy tower, even though you push faster, even though your push is more dangerous, you can easily get caught. Whereas you catching SMG, that's almost impossible.
Oh, this is tough for Analog to push while their tier 3 is taking damage, down to 1000 HP. They weren't able to get nearly as much done here. They've teleported back home. And on the chase is the Olikar, hoping to find someone. There's a teleporting Bane right in the middle of the triangle. But he can't get close to it. That was such a long teleport. But it wasn't enough for them. At least they get rid of the vision in the area. Mid one is right under a sentry. And he's going to get caught by the first stun into the second. Mirana might just die here. Followed up with the Lucent Beam, and that's Mirana down. This one sentry on the low ground had no idea that it even existed.
This is why I'm not a fan of the right-click Mirana. You know, just one misstep and your 20,000 net worth hero is gone. It is just shown this could happen in a team fight as well. Imagine Hokori uses their BKBs, they connect a stun on the Mirana and you just die, and that's a big chunk of net worth gone. Whereas let's say if you would have like a magic build, you would spam arrows from behind and you'd still be able to contribute quite a lot into the fight.
Hokori able to get the outpost back under their control as SMG moving on their side of the map. They have an incoming smoke heading towards their
They have good vision
direction.
as well.
They've got the dragon scouting out the wave. They see Moon. They've scouted out MKS, and here we go. They're going to get the Hex out onto the Vangolier, but the charging coming out with the Dark Ascension popped right onto the Marcy. Marcy going to get away from that silence, and now they can turn away MKS. His BKB is still up for a couple seconds. He's also got 35 seconds remaining on the Aegis, so he needs to get on the run and at least keep that alive, because otherwise he will get stuck on the spot, and that's where Hokori is the strongest, because they have these stuns that they can land right on the marker where he's going to be. So he will get out with the Aegis. They will get moved for this fight.
The items of Hokori are just so good. They're going for these hexes because they know that's the only thing that they lack. It is lockdown. And, you know, because they the only thing that they lack is lockdown, the 4 staffs of SMG, they're non-existent. There was no reason to pick any of them up. So now when these hexes come out, you have nothing to save your friends with other than the Bay Nightmare. And we saw in the last engagement it wasn't enough. And now SMG, they're panicking. They're starting to shake. That's why they use 2 smokes instead of 1.
These are very hectic moments for sure. Oh, mid one's about to find a DD rune. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. This guy hits for 400 damage. You don't want to end up on this way. Look, 1-2 hits. That's gone already.
As Mirana would say, perfect.
Yes, indeedly so. And they will not want to fight this DD. So Hokori spreading out the bottom, push out the wave, keep themselves hidden under the fog of war.
Still, it was SMG having the Aegis, and they didn't accomplish much with it. So I'd say Hokori, for the past 5 minutes, they are gonna be
50-50.
the happier team. And Lumiere, he has the Axe, and he's approaching level 25. Man, that is so dangerous. The Ghost Scepters, they're not gonna help you. You're gonna be able to find the backline and the Shaker with it. It's just gonna be so hard.
Shaker and the Bane won't get to cast their spells properly. You can't fissure inside that. You can't Fiend Script inside that. And here we go again. Vision on MKS. The Wolves are scouting him out, but there's a sentry in middle. They don't know about the smoke, though. On the right outside of Vision, MKS will finally find Lumiere. Afu already loading up the fissure. As soon as that happened, they turned around, but they will find the Undying, and the arrow will connect as well. He needs to get safe. The Orlicker with a Force Staff, and here comes MKS and charges in for the kill. Analog's going to be there as well, but the BKB is already burnt on both of these cores, and they're going to TP away. Analog wants to get the heck out of there and will be able to, but the Basher is scary. Hokori don't have the members anymore. They do get their Luna out of there, but they will have to sack the Marcy. Can they get Vitaly out? He's so close to getting there, and he will. Support's dead.
Not the biggest of things for Hokori, but the question is now, how can SMG capitalize on this in terms of controlling the map and pushing out the waves? That is the main thing, because SMG, they don't need to go for big team fights. If Hokori are pushing out waves, the catch for SMG is just amazing. So not having Guilty of the Night Stalker might not matter that much.
They're going in. Mirana ulti. Lumiere is going to be quite alone here without the supports right now. And there's the Fissure. Afu once again setting it up. An arrow comes out as well, and they need to find a save for an Analog. Coming in as well, Luna's going to take a lot of damage, but the BKB is going to be popped, and there's the turnaround. They're going to take down MKS right with the Eclipse, and mid one is going to be found all by himself. The Manta is going to be there, and Afu again! Holding them down. Lumiere is going to go down. The Fiend Script's going to be onto the Lycan as well. Vitaly's going to be taking a lot of damage here, but they do have at least a little bit to sustain it further. Afu down, and still trying to kill the Lycan. Moon, he's desperate for this kill, and he will take it for himself. And now disengaging as he's already done the work that he required. Afu finishes off the Luna, and you've got Moon taking down Vitaly.
Afu is just the hero. He used the Echo there just to extend the stun on the Luna so she hits the arrow. In the end, still not enough to get the kill, but ultimately they find it. And, you know, you killed the Luna, you killed the Lycan, you might have lost 3 heroes for it, but Moon for the next fight will have an Arcane Rune. So even if it comes to a 5 versus 5, Moon is going to be a big nuisance, and it all happened because you killed the Luna and you made sure that Hokori are going to be on their side of the map.
You saw that Eclipse land on top of that Night Stalker. He didn't even get the BKB. That's not even without the 25 talent. That was just a casual Eclipse with 1 stun.
Yep. It's not looking easy for SMG, but it's not looking impossible. Still, their lineup is harder to play. They have a bigger peak. If they do everything perfectly, Hokori are gonna lose the fight, but so many things that can go wrong for SMG. The main one, Afu dying at the start of the fight, but for now, that just hasn't been the case because he understands his importance.
Analog has the Split Earth Shard. They can hold these choke points a lot better. Afu with the stun. Here comes the Dark Ascension MKS. Lumiere already right outside of the pit. Moon has an Arcane Rune as well. So he's got very short cooldown. He's only got less than 5 seconds on Swashbuckle now. And Mirana just finished the Daedalus. Mid one with these crits. If they can just get the Fissure into Arrow, that could be easy kills for them. Hokori, they're holding a bit of a distance onto the high ground. They know about the Dark Ascension. Still up for a couple seconds. They're going to take the advantage. They jump on the Dragon. Moon in the middle. They're going to go 4. And there's the Fissure coming out as well. Analog with BKB running already. Kartik on the side. And Vitaly is here. But where's the Luna? Luna on the backside. Here comes the Eclipse onto the Night Stalker. Soaking it up and taken down right away. It's too much to deal with. Mid one with a double kill. However, with the Daedalus doing a lot of damage. A lot of work here. And Afu makes sure that this Luna ain't going anywhere. And with the follow-up stun on the arrow, will keep him away. Marcy coming in with a buyback. They're going to be taking down the Bane. Just eaten by Vitaly and Lumiere. DD Rune for Roche Pit. Oh my God.
Is there a smoke on SMG? They used the double smoke earlier. If they had a smoke right now with the Earthshaker and the Echo, they could defend this Roche, but nah, it's just gonna be way too late.
How on earth do you find a DD room just as Roche has spawned and you've won a team fight? Man, you gotta feel so happy to be Hokori right now. And the refresher.
Oh, that's gonna feel so bad for SMG. They're like, okay, Luna is not gonna have the refresher anytime soon, but then the Roche comes and now she will have the double eclipse. Luckily for them, level 25 still isn't there, but it is very close.
It is very close indeed. Not too far off now. They're looking to push down the top lane. See what they can achieve with this Hokori. He's got analog in front. There's a glyph available. Might have to use it to soak up the Diabolic Edict, and that was exactly what Analog was doing. He was cast canceling, was pump faking it for a couple of times to force out the glyph without him having to use the Edict. But they wait for the cast to go through before.
Big items coming out from Hokori. BKB on the Marcy and Hex on the Lycan. BKB on the Marcy allows you to go into the backline, find the Shaker, and then the Fiend's Grip might have to get used on her. But also, that will allow Afu to not have good vision of the back of the fight, so we might not see as good of fissures as we did so far.
That is very true. Yeah, the Marcy disrupting the backline is what SMG hopes will never happen, because it renders a lot of difficulties for SMG to keep that team fight together. Like, might even have to use the Bane to lock down the Luna, which is not super optimal too early on in the fight, because they want to use it to maximize damage output. They're using Fissure to disrupt the Luna, but they might have to use it to disrupt the Luna with the Fiend's Grip, which is not optimal for them, because the Shaker just does it so much better.
Not ideal. Though, you know, Shaker is level 20, so you know, Afu can keep his distance even more right now. It's not even sure that they're gonna be able to get on top of him with the Teolic or Marcy, even with the BKB, just because he can stay so far behind. And once the Octarine comes out, without the BKBs, Hokori won't be able to fight. So Earthshaker, even though they have an answer to him, is still a very big problem.
Dire Scan does connect right on top of Hokori, so they know their positioning. And they know they want to use this Aegis. It's over 2.5 minutes still up. So a fight for Hokori. An Analog can play a bit more aggressively here. Moon, good positioning here in the front. He's got the mobility to quickly get out. He's rolling, thundering already. Almost at least, but the Wolves will find MKS. MKS is already going to take those mini stunts, but they won't be able to hold him on the spot. And here goes Analog, diving in deep to the back line. Moon's going to be finding the stuns onto the left. Lish is about to drop for the first time without even getting that Bloodstone off cooldown. And there's the Diabolic Edict. It will do some damage on the spot. And now Lumiere goes in with the Refresher, and there we go. MKS is down. Moon has to disengage mid one with the arrows. Can't find any connections with that split. Hokori on the chase now. They've lost the Marcy, but they did kill off the Bane carry. And on again, connecting onto the Mirana. Mid one just getting hunted down by Hokori, and he's down. Double kill for Lumiere.
Mid one has been baiting them with his leap so much this game, and he's continuing to do so, but now he's up against 2 hexes, so you can't do it any longer. He needs to be a little bit more trigger happy when it comes to those leaps. Just get away.
Moon with a Rolling Thunder, turn to destroy the creep wave. Very smart glyph. Moon can't even destroy it. They'll have to go for the second creep wave. So now if they can keep this one alive, Hokori have the wave to get the backdoor protection out of the way. And straight to the top lane they go. They found the Bane. Bane right in front of Polison's positioning. He's gonna end up him getting killed. Now they got the buyback coming in from him as well. Mid one trying to get some damage in the air. Calls up Afu! What on earth is this God Gamer? Afu again! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! I am speechless in the presence of a god.
I think Hokori are gonna be hearing Afu, Afu, Afu echoing into them, like into the next game, because this might have just won the game for SMG. There are 2 heroes without buyback, and the team that was pushing just a second ago now are gonna be on the back foot.
SMG gets the push. They can force out the buyback off of the Luna, but it won't do much because they don't have the Lesh for 80. 3 minutes cooldown. This could be 2 lanes of racks. This could be a tier 4 push with mid one. Still a leap charge available. look at the damage. What is the call? Is it tier 4s? They're sticking for the Rex for now. They could just stick a lane of Rex and then consider their options. They could go for top for a second. They're going to go for tier 4s. Mid one wants to go for the poke. They want to get them out now. And this is the decision. It's all in now. Luna needs to buy back in a second. The Fisher comes out already into the Undying. And here's the jump in as well from MKS. They're going to take down Kartik. Kartik has a buyback available. Luna still not buying back in. The glyph will be used. SMG repositioning. They are down a half HP on most of their heroes. But MKS, 4k HP. BKB available. They're going to go for the second lane of Rex. And Hokori is fine with this. This is better than forcing out the Luna buyback to defend the tier 4s. SMG though.
They're not gonna stop.
They caught Lycan. Cape comes out. Moon is going to be rolling in. He sees exactly where he is. It's a 4-step on the other side of the fissure. And now Luna is going to be respawning. But Lee's already down. Vitaly, the big buffs are gone. Lumiere is alive. And how does he approach this fight? How does he approach this fight? Moon in the front. Aeon Disc will pop. There's the MLS coming in as well. And the Ancient is already down. There's the Eclipse coming out. It will fend them off, but the creeps are taking the majority of the damage. Moon is going to be on the runaway, and Leshrak is up as well with the cheese. And there's the stun coming in onto Marcy. Marcy down. Kartik in the front. 4-step's going to be there as well, but he gets sleep right away. The arrow does connect, and MKS is there to right-click him down. And SMG so close to victory. Analog charging in again one more time, but the BKB doesn't have any stuns to face against him. MKS is down. But Moon is right on top of him. Moon will look to take it down. It's a double for Mud One. And now it's a Lumiere. The Luna to fall. The Luna to die. And GG. Team SMG. They tie the series up. We're going to game 3.
Oh man, Team SMG, they got the win. Afu, man, they should be kissing this guy, hugging this guy, because he has brought them victory. 46 minutes of perfect gameplay, and then it's not like that he only did perfect things and no awesome plays. That last echo is the thing that won them the game. It looked very tough for them, but they got it back. Some mistakes from SMG, but this time around they're not going to be overwhelming, and they'll get the victory.
Just
really a beautiful game. Beautiful game.
Beautiful Dota on both ends. Couple mistakes positioning wise here and there, but we're not here to worry and think about those. We're looking at some beautiful team fight control, the presence, the efficiency, the effectiveness of Afu Shaker versus Hokori's itemization. We saw the Lumiere Luna agonyms, the impact of it, the capability that this Luna hero has when they're stuck, clumped up, trying to take this hero down, the turnarounds, the Roshan fights that we saw in this game. I mean, I hope everyone else is feeling what I'm feeling, because I'm super excited for this series. Man, this is some really good Dota.
Yeah, and Mid One making the right-click Mirana work. I'm a big fan of Mirana as a hero, and I haven't seen a right-click Mirana work for a very long time. There were times where I was like, no, this just doesn't work. There, you die in one stun. But Mid One, he did so much damage in that game, 60,000. Pango, which I thought was going to be doing the most, did only 40. So it was actually insane how much damage Mid One did. He understood what he needed to do in fights, how he needed to position, and he just did an awesome job. SMG, just a very, very nice game coming out from them from start to finish.
And we're going to get a full 3-map series as well. So, ladies and gents, stay tuned for more. One more game of Dota coming between these two teams, SA versus SCA, right after the break for the final game.